So let's answer the age-old question. Why did the chicken cross the road? Okay, no, not that one. The quote goes, money doesn't buy happiness. But is this true? Researchers set out to answer this question because many people disagree with it, including me. Because at the end of the day, money is a means to buy stuff that can bring you happiness. It can even bring you closer to the people you love, which brings you happiness. Say you don't have enough money to pay for transport to a loved one, that makes you unhappy. So let's look at the research. What were their findings? So we've got a graph. On the one axis we have money, money, money. Money. Then on the other axis, we have your happiness. So what's the relationship between these two? Let's start at 0. So at the point where you have no money, you are miserable. Let's be honest. So at this point, you're broke AF. So where's your happiness when you're completely broke? Completely broke. You're sad AF. Of course. I think everyone will agree here that you're not really happy when you have absolutely no money, because that means you can't even afford to buy food for yourself. So then when we look at the relationship between money and happiness as your money grows, you can see there's a direct parallel between happiness and money. Meaning, you can see that the marginal increase in happiness is equal to the marginal increase in money. In layman terms, this means with every bit of extra money you get that much happier. Just a side note, why is it called layman's terms? Is it layman's terms? Yeah, layman's terms. So layman means plain English, apparently. Clear, straightforward language. Irony. The word layman is not very layman. Anyway, back to the video. I get distracted. So at this point, say there was a unit for happiness. What will we call this? Happiness was measured in happy chappies. So if you get 200 Rand, you get 200 happy chappies. If you get 500 Rand, you get 500 happy chappies. But at some point, the relationship between these two change. So money still equals happiness, but not in the same relationship as before. So say you get 400 Rand or $400 or whatever currency you are using, you get 200 happy chappies. And if you get 800 Rand or dollars, you get 400 happy chappies. So there's still a relationship. The more money you get, the happier you become. But then at some point, it doesn't really make a difference. Say Elon Musk, for example. I don't think when he gets more money, it really increases his happiness. At this point, it becomes a straight line. So your happiness is maxed in terms of money. So there's still stuff that can increase or decrease your happiness, but money is not one of those factors. Now, why is this? So this is called the hedonic treadmill. Let me quickly read you the definition. So the hedonic treadmill is a metaphor for the human tendency to pursue one pleasure after another. That's because the surge of happiness that's felt after a positive event is likely to return to a steady personal baseline over time. So this means that we get used to the things we have. When you buy a new pair of glasses, for example, the first week or month even, you feel good about your new glasses. You want to show them to everyone, you feel so pretty. But after a year, you're so used to it, you don't even notice it. You often see this happen as well with people moving to a certain location that they love. So they maybe get a property with an amazing view. And they might appreciate that view forever, but the amount of appreciation decreases as time goes by, as they get used to it. Therefore, you can see why the slope starts decreasing. It's kind of like a drug, really. The more you have, the more you need to get the same kick out of it. So if you don't have a lot of money and you get a new coffee mug, it will make you feel amazing. But if you're rich and you get a new coffee mug, it's not really going to mean that much to you. This goes on and on and on until you reach a point where nothing materialistic can make you happy anymore. So the answer to the question, can money really buy happiness? Is yes, to a point. Where do you see yourself on this graph? I must say, I am still at the direct correlation between happiness and money. But it's an interesting concept to consider, and I'm sure none of you are really surprised. It's one of those things that you hear it and then you're like, oh yes, yeah, that makes sense. So what can we learn from this? I feel the lesson in this is that There's nothing wrong with chasing money, but be aware of this effect. When you spend your money, rather than buying something new, consider buying experiences. If you don't need something, say you've got a sweater, but there's a prettier sweater in the shops, consider maybe spending that money on a dinner with you and your friends, on you maybe going to a museum and learning something new. Spend your money on making memories. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest. Invest your money so that you can buy memories. I'm just saying, think about your future. What would you rather look back on? On how you were able to afford a new couch, a new jersey, that you always looked amazing? Or would you rather have a lot of beautiful memories with beautiful people that you can think of fondly? Of course, if you can afford both, go for it. Wow. All I'm saying is make sure you will not regret what you spend your money on. So instead of getting takeout today, maybe go buy some ingredients, invite a friend over, and make dinner with them. Consider how you will look back on the money you spent. Was it worth spending? Sorry for going so philosophical on your ass today. I hope you learned something new and that it impacts your life, even if it's just a little bit. But that's all from me. Bye!